Lesson 6.2, Rates and Unit Pricing. I'm on page 457. What we're going to do is we're going to continue with the ratios that we started in the last section. And one of the things that we're going to be comparing or doing is looking at units that are different from each other. For example, when we were talking in the last section about basketball, we said something about a person making 12 baskets for every 18 shots that he did. So you'll notice here that my units are both baskets. So he made 12 out of 18. Well, sometimes you're going to run into some ratios that do not have the same unit. You may be talking something other than baskets to baskets. You may be talking miles per hour or feet per second or dollars per gallon or something, and you can't combine those two. You can't bring those together. They have different units. So when they have different units and they can't be converted one to the other, the ratio is then called a rate, R-A-T-E, and that's what we're going to be looking at today is rates. So for example, if you were to travel 120 miles in 3 hours, there's two different units of measure there. One is in miles and one is in time, and you can't change one unit to the other. You can't make miles hours or hours miles, so it's considered a rate. And what we're looking at doing here is just basically reducing. So we're going to take 120 to 3 hours or per 3 hours and just reduce that. So we could find out how many miles per 1 hour that person was going. So if it took 120 miles to go 3 hours and you were to reduce this, 120 divided by 3 would be 40 over 1. So 40 miles per 1 hour. So if you're looking at this, another way of writing this is 40 miles, and you can put a little mark like that for per hour. So is the speed, 40 miles per hour. It's a rate. It's how fast they were going. So for the most part in this lesson, we're going to look at just reducing some of these rates. And again, the only difference between a rate and a ratio is the ratio has the same unit and a rate has a different one. So for example, if we've got a car going 90 miles on 5 gallons of gas, the question is, example 2, bottom of page 457, give the ratio of miles to gallons as a rate in miles per gallon. So this is 5 gallons. What we're looking to do is we're looking at changing this to 1 gallon. How far is it going to go on 1 gallon? That being the case, we divide out and we get 18 miles. And if you notice, all we did was took 90 divided by 5. Anytime we're trying to get a 1 on the bottom, which is going to be always, you just divide the top number, 90 divided by the 5. Okay, so the 5 goes into the 90 18 times, and you're good. Which brings us to what they call unit pricing. Whenever we use the word unit pricing or anything with the word unit in it, we're looking at getting the denominator to be 1. So for example, if we have a 2-liter bottle of Coke for $1.19, and that is, well, let's just say it's a 1-liter bottle, since that's what the book says. And let's say that we have a 2-liter bottle, and we want to compare the prices on those two. We want to find out which one of these is the best deal. Well, obviously this one is, but anyway, to find out the best deal, we have to get the bottom number to be a 1 and the bottom unit to be the same. So they're both already liters, so we're okay. So in order to get this, well, this is obviously already a 1, but to get this a 1, we take $1.39 divided by 2. And when we do that, we get 0.695, or about 69.70 cents per 1 liter. Alright, so up here we have $1.19. We didn't do anything per 1 liter. So obviously this is going to be the better deal. So when you're at Fred Meyer, Walmart, Safeway, wherever, and you're comparing prices, you're going to have to be able to do that in order to figure out what the best deal is. So for example, we have 1 gallon of milk, and it's $3.59. And we're looking at a half gallon of milk, and it's $1.99. And then a quart, and it is $1.29. Alright, so the way our ratios are going to look for this is our $3.59 is going to be, put a dollar sign up there, and that's our unit per 1 gallon. Then we've got $1.99 per 0.5 gallons, half a gallon, and we have $1.29 per 1 quart. Alright, we can't compare these because we have a gallon here, but we have a quart here. So we're going to have to make all 3 of these the same. So you can change your gallons to quarts or your quarts to gallons. It doesn't really matter which way you go, except that these are already in gallons, so it makes sense just to change this one to quarts rather than both of these to quarts. So if you remember any of your tables as far as converting, you'll know that there's 4 quarts in a gallon. So 1 quart would be 1/4 of a gallon. So I'm just going to put 0.25 gallons here because 0.25 is the same as 25 over 100, which is the same as 1/4. And if we're talking 1 quart and there's 4 quarts to a gallon, that's going to be 0.25. So at this point, this is the only one that actually is unit priced. It has to have a 1 here. So to get these to be unit price, you just take $1.99 divided by 0.5, and you take $1.29 divided by 0.25, and you'll get your prices. So if we took $3.59 divided by 1, we get that. $1.99 divided by 0.5, we get $3.98. So that's how much it is per gallon if you were to buy half. So if you bought 2 of these, it costs you $3.98. And $1.29 divided by 0.25 is going to be 5.16 per gallon. And that means you'd have to buy 4 of these to get a gallon. So you look at the prices, $3.59, $3.98, $5.16. So if you bought a gallon, that would be cheaper per gallon than any of these others would be per gallon. Alright, so that's it as far as that lesson is concerned. Turn the video off, turn it back on to look at some of the problems. This is all story problems in this section. So be waiting to go over some problems in 6.2.